Hey everybody, welcome to Everybody Loves Zippers. This is Hiram Lai here at the UCAN Zippers factory. Today I am going to show you how to fix one of the most difficult zippers to fix. It is the invisible zipper. Let's jump into it. Okay, the invisible zipper. This zipper is probably the one that I get the most emails about on how to repair. It is the hardest zipper to repair for just a few reasons. And if you didn't see the video that we made before about what makes an invisible zipper invisible, just click here. And that video is kind of just a quick primer to show you what exactly makes up an invisible zipper. And in that video I just go through it so you can kind of get an idea of like an anatomy of an invisible zipper, which helps in making a repair. So today I'm going to show you how to fix this. Now this is not going to be a short video, and I'm going to tell you this up front to set expectations just because it takes a lot of work to repair these types of zippers. I'm also going to show you two different ways that I've seen repair or I've seen damage done to these zippers and how we're going to repair them. So there's going to be two different ways that we're going to repair it. So I want to make sure that you have set aside some time to watch this video, understand it, and then I hope this helps. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer and let's jump into it. Okay, so there are a couple ways that invisible zippers are damaged. I've seen actually a few. So this is one way that you've probably encountered where your dress or your skirt, one side is popped off and now you're stuck and you have the slider still on one side. So with this, the best way to repair it is to repair it from the bottom because it's already been separated. So what you need to do is you need to access the bottom of the invisible zipper. Sometimes the way it's sewn, you can probably, they leave the bottom exposed, and you'll see that the bottom is actually still joined together because there's a bottom stop. So the easiest way to fix this is you're going to have to clip off that bottom stop. So this will require removing some teeth if you have to, because the bottom stop is just this plastic, it's almost like welded to the teeth. So you may have to remove some of those teeth, because what you want to get is you want to be able to get the two sides completely separate so that you can remove the slider and then rejoin both sides. Okay, so in this instance, this is just a cut length zipper, and it's easier for me to show cut lengths rather than going through a dress because all that fabric will be billowing everywhere. So first step, separate your zipper teeth so that you have two complete sides. So each side will be sewn onto whatever the garment is. You're going to need to remove the bottom stop. Okay, then what you're going to do is you're going to remove the slider so you can take it off. At this point you'll be able to take it off the bottom. You just slide the zipper off of the tape. So now you're going to have two sides separated, okay? And you're going to have already cut off a few teeth because you had to cut off the bottom stop. Sorry. Okay? So now what you need to do is you need to take your slider here and you're going to feed the slider back onto the chain. I'm going to need to put the zipper tape through the head, this top portion. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that with one side. Okay, and you're only going to bring it up until the teeth. You'll feel it kind of want to stop, and that's because the auto lock has hit that top tooth. And then I'm going to do it for the other side. Okay. So I slide it, make sure there's that fold, slide it right through the slider, just kind of wiggle it through. Okay, now invisible zippers, because they are a smaller gauge size, the teeth are very sensitive. And what I mean by that is if there's any damage, to any of these teeth, just like even if it's a little bit of damage and it's bent out of the way, or bent in a weird direction, you're gonna have to clip that off. I'm working here with the number 5 gauge, which is larger, and I do this on purpose with videos so that you can see that the camera can capture all the teeth. But typically number 2 and number 4 gauge sizes are the sizes that are on your dresses or skirts or whatever garment it is. They're smaller, they're more delicate. So if there's something wrong with the teeth, then you're gonna need to clip that off just to give yourself a nice clean tooth essentially to start the slider on. Okay, so I'm gonna put this on here until it stops. I can feel it stop there. Now what I have to do is I have to pull this auto lock up towards me, and I have to try to pull this apart in opposing directions. Now, this isn't like other videos where I've just been able to do a quick boom, it pops and the slider engages. The reason why is that pleat here, if I pull, I'm only pulling the pleat apart. I'm not actually forcing that chain to engage. So it takes a little bit more effort to get this to go in opposing directions at the same time that I'm pulling the slider pull up and trying to get the slider down onto the zipper chain, okay? So here we go. I'm gonna see if how this works out. Okay, so I got both sides locked. I'm going to use my index and my thumb to go to the right. I'm gonna use my middle finger and the bottom side of my thumb to try to give it some opposing direction. And oh, that went on nice. Okay, that doesn't always happen. So I got lucky. So that went right on, and now the zipper is back together. And you can check the teeth. If the teeth are offset just a little bit, it won't be that big of a deal because it's an invisible zipper. You're not gonna see it anyway. And it's only a couple teeth here. So once you have it back on, you're gonna wanna check to make sure that it functions well all the way up to the top. So you've put the slider back on. Now you don't want it to come off the bottom again. You're going to create a bottom stop, and I'm gonna quickly show you how to do that. To make a bottom stop on an invisible zipper, it's as simple as using a soldering iron. And basically what you're going to do is you are going to simply just melt a small section of the teeth. And what you're doing is you're just creating a bottom stop out of the teeth itself just by melting a little section. I mean about 1/4 inch. Just like that. And again, because this zipper is invisible, no one's gonna see this teeth anyway, so it doesn't have to be pretty, but what you do want is you do want it to stop your slider so your slider doesn't fall off the bottom again. Okay? So once that's done, you just let it cool off, and you're gonna take the slider down to the bottom here. And there you go, there's your bottom stop. And you've fixed your zipper, your invisible zipper. Okay, so that's the first way of fixing this zipper. I'm going to show you now the second way to do it. The second way that you're probably trying to repair your invisible zipper is when your slider comes completely off and all you're left with is maybe your dress or your skirt, whatever your garment is, the zipper's still together, but your slider's completely off. Here's what you're gonna have to do. So on invisible zippers, most likely you're gonna have top stops here. If the sliders come off the top stops are probably damaged, and that's why the slider is coming off the top. What you need to do is you need to take a tool similar to this. You're going to need to cut off the top stop and perhaps a few teeth. So by taking off the teeth on the nylon coil, let me focus this. What you're gonna wanna do is you want to remove the actual tooth. So you come in here and you just clip these off. Okay, and you can see how the tooth is actually woven under the tape. Here it's woven onto what we call the cord. So just make sure you remove the teeth. Once you remove the top stops and the teeth, you only need to remove maybe like 3 or 4 of these things after you get the including the top stops, and that'll give you room to put the slider back on, okay? So once that's all taken care of and you have a little bit more space, you're gonna simply take your slider and you're going to slip it through the mouth here, this bottom portion. And again, make sure that the tracks go through on one side there, and I'm gonna work it through the other side as well. And you're going to get the slider all the way to the top of the teeth, and you'll feel it stop, okay? Because that's where the lock now is. The lock is sitting right on top of the teeth. So what we need to do again is we need to give it some opposing force. So we want to pull it out as much as we can. We want to pull the lock up, so the lock pulls up towards, and then you want to pull down. So it's a lot of motion. Like I said, it is hard to fix, so you've got to be pretty patient, but it is repairable, so it's not impossible. So let's see how this one goes. Last time we got lucky on the first time. Let's see if we get that lucky. So I'm going to pull up to unlock the slider. I'm going to pull apart the zipper and see if we can get it to engage. Look at that. I've never been that lucky twice. So now it's on. Okay, and you can see that it's back on. From here, what you want to do now is, because you've probably, as I said earlier, you've probably removed the top stops or you cut off some teeth. What you want to do now is you want to create new top stops. You're going to do it the same way we did with the bottom stop. You're going to take your soldering iron here, and again, because this is invisible, no one's going to see the teeth, and you're going to melt just a small section of these teeth so that you're going to create your own top stop. You're going to do it on both sides. So I'm going to go ahead and iron this out a little bit, and it's like 3 or 4 teeth, nothing big. And again, like I said before, it's an invisible zipper, so no one's going to see this anyway. Once you're done with that and it cools off, then you're going to take the zipper up, and there you go. You got your top stops set, and your zipper has been repaired. All right, if you have any questions regarding this, which you probably might have a few, feel free to email me. It's right here. Go ahead and email me here and shoot me over your questions. But this is how you repair an invisible zipper, and it does take a little bit of time and effort, but it's not impossible and totally doable. Good luck, and if you like what you've seen, please hit the thumbs up below. Feel free to shoot over some comments, and also, as always, please subscribe. We love it. All right, thanks a lot.